I got into writing my own songs when I was probably about 13, 14. And
You're how old now? 21, did you say?
Yeah, 22 in June.
22.
So was that like straight away on the guitar, or just singing, or how
both,
did you go about
both
it?
Really, I learned. So I got into properly got into guitar music via seeing U2 on Graham Norton, and they were promoting that album that went to everyone's phones. Didn't go to
was
my
that
phone.
freebie or something like that?
Yeah, it didn't go to my phone, and so I had to go out and buy it. I was the only person in the fucking world that had to go out and buy it.
I didn't play it even.
Well,
I think it annoyed the shit out of a lot of people as
It
well,
did,
because it
yeah.
was just like, hang on, why the fuck have I got this in my library now? How dare you?
It's free music.
But they didn't. I mean, I'm going to stick up for U2 because they're my favourite band, and they get a lot of stick. And it's like, I get it. But you know, for a start, that didn't mean to happen. That album on everyone's phones, they were going to put it on the cloud, and it's like free album for a month. If you want it, great. If you don't, great. It went to everyone's phones. It was a glitch in the Apple tech, and Apple sorted it. And also, if you don't listen to it, don't listen. Just delete it.
Well,
yeah, I agree. The Sunday Bloody Sunday song, is that an album as well? I don't know if that U2.
It was on an album called October.
It was on War. The third album, yeah.
Third album, yeah. I knew it was the. I can't remember what it's called. That album and that song is great.
It's a great album.
A lot of the early stuff is good, but I did get
like very political, weren't they, in the early days?
It was interesting to see the switch from that to like pop music. You know, when they did that song with Boyzone or whatever, and shit like that. You're like, what's going on? Like they used to be like Irish political band. It's an interesting thing.
Yeah, they still are.
I'm sure.
There's an album they did in 1997, which is a really fucking underrated album called Pop, and they didn't finish writing and recording it because they booked the tour too soon to the making of the record, and they had to go out and tour this album that they half finished. But it makes it fresh. You put that record on, and it pops, no pun intended, out of the speakers in a way that their other stuff does, but not as much because it's too laboured on. But on that record, there's loads of kind of socio-political things on there lyrically, and it's like dark. If you read the lyrics and don't listen to the music, it's like you kind of wonder what was going on with Bono at the time. It's like really great, dark, interesting lyrics.
My problem with Bono
and all the new stuff as well.
My problem with Bono is that he's basically a billionaire. Yeah, and that cannot. There's no way that can't have an influence on how you write music. It just can't.
No, but
it just can't. Like you're not in the same thing. I'm not saying that's necessarily a bad thing. Just that from where he was to where he is now, it's just an interesting change.
But it's interesting to hear his interviews nowadays compared to when Vertigo came out, because a lot of the people I know who don't like him grew up around the time of Vertigo and all that stuff, and you get a version of Bono that's quite performative. Whereas now, you know, I've been listening to his interviews today from last year when his book came out, and he's very aware of his naysayers, and he's very aware of the image that people have of him, and I think can have a bit of fun with it. I think he seems to feel more comfortable in himself.
It's probably because he's got
probably because he's got a lot of money.
Fuck him. Like, I don't care. They don't like me. Who's a rich bitch?
I think somebody finally showed him his bank balance. He's like, oh right.
Yeah, there we go.
Oh, Joshua treated all right then, did it? But no, I mean, you know, I got into guitar music because I saw U2 on Graham Norton, and really like they did an acoustic version of a song called "Song for Someone."
I like that song.
Tune, and it was on that record, and I went and bought it, and got really into them, and I wanted to sort of have that guitar sound like The Edge, and I had a little ukulele at the time you could plug into an amp.
Oh, nice.
So I was like, ukulele, delay all the way up. It's like, this is kind of cool, but it doesn't really kind of cut it.
Yeah, because they do have that specific. The Edge does have that specific.
Went home and got into playing that way, and learned how to play a U2 song called "So Cruel" on the guitar, and literally the minute I learnt it, I thought, I'll just nick some chords, swap them around, and write my own song. And and that was then I wrote a tune called "All I Can Do," which is fucking dreadful, and but got really into the fact that I could actually write something that like had my own stamp on it. So that's how I got into writing songs. And then I was in a band